Oh,
Hello,
good.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey. Good. Should we wait for more people to get here, or?
I don't know. I can't even tell. I can't. Let's see. I
I know,
can't.
I'm
I
like
don't
trying
even.
to
This is
do
all new
so.
to me. So let's see. I don't know how many people are watching or even. Let's see. Click, 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 click. I don't know. I guess we could wait a couple minutes, but
All right. We'll wait a couple minutes.
yeah, I don't really. Don't. There's Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Oh, hi. I'm like, how do I get to my... I've got a couple cats in here.
Nice. Oh, there's 9 people now watching.
Wow. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're just waiting.
Wait
Should we
a
just
couple
start?
minutes. Wait a minute. One more minute. I
Mhm.
don't have any. I wish I had any like some music to just play, but I don't think I do.
This is a music event, and you don't have any music to play?
I mean, you know.
This is actually a miming event.
Oh,
We didn't
really?
want to tell
Oh,
people because we didn't think that they would check it
yeah.
out, but...
All right. So we tricked them all into coming, and
Yeah.
yeah. Good technique.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since Twig Palace kind of like went into a dormancy phase, we've just been, for all these years, we've just been studying mime.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, almost a decade of miming. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some people study for their whole lifetime.
Yeah. Clear Backpack says it's like a house show, but we're all in different houses, and I agree. You know, I mean, this is
It's a
very
It's a houses show.
yeah, houses show for
houses
sure.
We're all going to the houses show. There's lots of dogs running around. You just can't see them.
There's no lines for the bathroom.
No
Yeah.
lines for the
Hopefully,
bathroom. Yeah.
there is toilet paper.
Yeah.
For now.
This is so different than Olympia in 2008.
Come back at. Yeah, don't want to wait too long for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's start. There's
Let's do it.
13 people now. There's a whole
Oh my God.
13 number
Wow.
of people. That's like a real show.
Yeah. This
Hello,
is
everybody.
this is really like a house show. Yeah.
This is really like a house show, except
Yeah.
we can't see too many people, but we see
People are showing up way more on
They're showing-
time than they would for a
yeah.
house
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
I was
know.
about to say
Punk
14
time.
people for a 7 o'clock
I know.
house
Maybe
show.
we should wait till like
Where
9:30 or 10 or something.
is actually
Yeah, we're
pretty
actually
good.
going to start
Yeah.
at 9:30.
Yeah.
Andrew,
we're adding.
Andrew's Bitcoin miming. David Bowie studied mime.
I think there's big money
That's
in
what Jen
that.
said. Yeah, yeah, I think so. Miming, Bitcoin miming, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just, yeah. Cool. Thanks for coming, quote unquote, to the internet for this very first online event, hosted by myself, Evan Hashi. I don't know if you probably know that. And
Good job,
Colin Johnson over there.
Hello.
And Joshua Amperson, our good friend and owner, business purveyor of Antiquated Future. Yeah, we're here to celebrate the reissue of Twig Palace recordings from years ago. Almost, I guess, 10 years now at this point. Yeah, maybe Joshua, do you want to start and talk about your project a little bit?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'm so excited that we're doing this and that this all came together. I think the idea for it of doing some sort of Twig Palace reissue came about maybe as many as a couple years ago when you and I, Evan, were talking about. I was talking about doing a Lost Olympia pop compilation from 2000 to 2010. And I reached out to you because you had a studio during that time, and you're recording a lot of bands and playing in a lot of bands. And so you sent me a bunch of stuff. We went back and forth with ideas, and then we just started talking about how great Twig Palace was. And I was just like, more people still need to know about Twig Palace. So, and then the last time you visited Portland, you stayed at my house, and we talked about it some more. And finally, kind of a situation came about for that really, in my mind, made sense for it. Was this year been working with Andrew Barton at Two Plum Press here in Portland, a good friend of mine who is also a music lover of especially, just kind of off the radar indie music. And we started dreaming up a series to release through Antiquated Future. Antiquated Future is an online store, zine distro, and tape label I run. And we wanted to do a series through the label part of Antiquated Future called Selected Songs, where we kind of do one of two things, where we either take an artist that's been going for a long time and maybe has some cultish renown, but is kind of not a recognizable name to most people, and do kind of a, B-sides and rarities introduction to this artist. So something that would appeal to the first-time listener, and also have some deep cuts for people who are big fans already. And then also take artists or bands that didn't exist for that long, or have been broken up for a long time, and kind of do a primer to that artist and reintroduce them. So we started off, everything of course got pushed back this year because of the pandemic. So we just kind of were like, well, the year's almost over. Let's just release all these things we've been dreaming of at the same time. So we kicked off the series with 3 releases within the last 2 months, really. And we did 2 releases, one with Fred Thomas, who was from bands like Saturday Looks Good to Me and City Center, and looked at in almost 20 years of his career in songwriting. And then Jason Anderson, who is an old K Records artist, a kind of relentless tourer for many years, and from the band Wolf Colonel. Until a few years ago, I really only knew him as the guy who wrote the original of the Blow song Jet Ski Accidents. And I was like, that's who Jason Anderson is. That song I really love that the Blow does. But Andrew from Two Plum introduced me. It kind of was like, this guy's still been making music, and it's all been so good. And so for the last couple of years, I've been getting really into his music. So I was really excited to work with him. So it's 2 artists who've been going for a couple decades now. And so we wanted to have one that was an artist or band that didn't exist for that long, and that we're kind of, bringing new listeners to. And I really wanted that to be Twig Palace. I really wanted it to be Colleen and Evan. And I just really adored this band, and really just always wanted more people to hear it. And I just think, I mean, you guys are my friends, but also I'm a fan. I gush and embarrass you guys a lot, and am dork out on both of your music, and so it was really exciting to bring this up this fall, and for the last few months work through a track list that kind of made sense to all of us, and packaging that made sense to all of us. And really excited. It's called Your Most Secret Name, Selected Songs, 2008 to 2011. And so each volume is letterpress and offset print by Stumptown Printers here in Portland. And kind of legendary printers here, and come up with nice.
And a Workaround Collective, right?
Workaround Collective, yeah. And then everyone has like a little booklet with liner notes. We write personal essays about the artists, and have kind of various ephemera from from each artist, like flyers and covers and photos and things with a Risograph print by What Now Press here in Portland. And so it's a real kind of team effort, which has been difficult in the pandemic, but we've been making it work, everyone working in their little spots and just kind of bringing all the elements together. And so this is a series we're going to be doing for years to come, and it was kind of important to me that there was a band that I just really, really loved and wanted to kind of kick this series off. And there's kind of a tradition of kicking series off with U2. Antiquated Future label, which the online store and distro has been around for 12 years. And Andrew says to show the golden tape. I gave a little peek of it, but all of them come in these nice metallic gold cassettes. We're kind of thinking like Gold Ticket,
Stay Gold,
Willy Wonka, Stay Gold, yeah, Outsider style, yeah. Yeah, there's this tradition of U2 kicking off things. Yeah, the store's been going on for 12 years. The label started 8 years ago, and one of the first two releases was Colleen's band Upside Down. Twig Palace kicked off the first 2 volumes of a compilation series I used to do called Well, I Don't See Why Not. And
great comps.
Yeah. I've revisited them a little bit during the making of this, and it was really fun to hear some of those old songs. Yeah, but I'm so excited, and I don't, I'm really excited to, gossip about Olympia music 2008 to 2011, and, get into all the behind the music details and all the, trashed hotel rooms and things like that. So
yeah, a lot of trashed hotel rooms in our history.
Yeah.
I would say that now that we're talking about the past, it's no longer hot goss. What would
yeah.
it be?
Okay. Yeah.
Lukewarm
Yeah.
goss.
Like mossy goss.
Yeah. Mossy goss for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. For Olympia.
Thanks, Josh. We are so honored to be on Antiquated Future. And I just gotta say, you give us so much support and so many people in this community. Like, you help get music out there. Even if you don't release it, you help mail it out. And I don't know that my music would be really reaching anyone if it weren't for you. So thank you.
Oh, well, that would be a shame if your music wasn't reaching people. It should be reaching even more people.
Well, working on it. We're live streaming right now.
Yeah. Reaching 23 people.
Yeah. Should we play a song and then talk a little bit more?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention, if you have any questions for us, or if you just have a good joke, just like drop it in the chat, and we'll respond, or if you just want to say hi. So.
I did see that Ben Cammon's in here.
I know there's a bunch of wonderful people. Yeah. My heart is so warm.
Say hello. Yeah, I guess we'll start with a song. I'm gonna give this a shot here. Oops.
MySpace.
see. It matters what you call it. It's a headbeat. It's already mine. My heart's in my head, and it's beating at the time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So good.
I gotta say, there are some beloved people in the audience right now, and I wish I
Yeah.
could. I want to like give a shout out to each one of you, but
Yeah.
I love you, and I really
Yeah,
miss
so cool.
everybody.
So cool to
Yeah.
see all the people in this.
It's really cool to be together, even in this
Yes.
weird way.
Yeah, totally.
It's all weird, I guess.
So, are we gonna do a follow-up album on this that are these new versions of Twig Palace songs? I mean, because that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, we need this as like the follow-up EP, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
this was like, I mean, we really, we put a fair amount of effort into doing this, which is, and also not too much, I think. I think
The
as
right
with
amount.
a lot of, yeah, I think a lot of things right now, it's like,
it was
everything's
the right
harder.
amount of work. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the right amount of work. So, yeah. So that, I mean, it's been, yeah, I think, for me at least, it's been like a good moment to, move towards streaming as everybody seems to be doing and struggling. I think a lot of people are honestly struggling with it from what I've seen, just because I think it's hard, so it's not the same as performing in front of people. And, I think it made me realize just like how most musicians are kind of, especially at the underground DIY level, are kind of required to be multimedia artists because just the way music, I don't know if it's true for, I guess it's kind of true for specifically for music, where it's just you have to produce so much that goes beyond just the actual craft of music, whereas, and I think that's, to different degrees, I think that's true for all arts at this point in time, but especially now, I guess, right? Because we all are mediated through the internet mostly at this point.
Yeah, it's also been, over a decade since we recorded these songs, and when we started Twig Palace, I actually had never picked up an electric guitar before, really, and I didn't own one, but I was just like, I had these songs, and I went over to Evan's house at the Puget House, which was across the street from the Puget Pantry, which I still have a really fond memory of the Puget Pantry having these extra large chef's pants that they draped over a shelf where they kept their porn videos.
Oh my
So
god.
it was like a privacy curtain for these like I just think it's really sweet. And I also discovered melon bars there, like frozen melon bars.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's a game changer.
Of course, yeah.
I digress. Yeah, Evan, really kind of like nurtured these songs for me and was like, just sing them. Like some of them, I just sang them, and then I happened to be able to like stay in key the whole time. And Evan I would come back and Evan would have built this entire amazing soundscape around the melody. So these were all, it was like a very like formative, especially now that I play like electric guitar pretty like almost exclusively now. So it was the beginning of my love affair with the electric guitar. But I think just revisiting these songs and relearning them for this event has been really interesting, because I have such a different way of playing, like relating to the guitar now. and I actually really struggled to like figure out how to play these songs again, because it was like my brain has been rewired since then.
Yeah, and
Yeah, somebody else knows about the chef's pants.
yes.
Yeah.
And one thing, when I sent you a draft, like my first version of what this album could sound like, I think your first response was like, "Whoa, we were so free, we were so wild," and and I really liked that you kind of surprised yourself in that way, that your old self surprised your current self, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I remember you telling me that it was back in the day that it was your first time playing drums too, playing like a drum kit.
Yeah, it was my first time playing a drum
Twig
kit.
Pals. Yeah. And you were really excited to be like coming up with beats to Evan's songs, and it was like, so there was just kind of and I think to most people it doesn't sound like kind of two people like learning or kind of figuring out how to play in a band or, write or produce songs together, but it really was, both of you kind of like exploring in certain ways for the first time. So, it's kind of, I thought there was just like a lot of really fun energy around the project because of that.
Totally. Yeah, actually one interesting back, it's interesting that Colleen's recollection of the early recordings, because actually, like, Tin Bees, I distinctly remember that Tin Bees, the way it was recorded was that it was a cappella, like, and drums at the very beginning, and then I basically put everything else on top over it. But it's like, you can't tell, it doesn't sound that way, but like literally it was just drums and singing, and then everything else came afterwards. So it was a lot of fun for me at the time to just be like be a producer essentially and arranger and just try to like throw everything at it and see what happens, So
should we try another song?
Yeah, totally.
Let's put another
Let's
one.
get our instruments.
Let's get our instruments out.
Let's see, I gotta switch here again.
In the deep, dark, crystal, impenetrable dark, drop by drop, dream my arms out, it's and the closeness chills, slender shins.
So that song was actually recorded at the Puget House. Because actually, I remembered that the early EP stuff was actually recorded at the house on Thurston Street that I used to live at.
Right.
Oh, before you moved
I
into your
moved to the Puget
studio.
House. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, before. So I lived on Thurston Avenue, and then
Oh,
I moved to the Puget House for a couple of years, I think. And then after the last place I lived in Olympia was the studio.
Bill had. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and actually
With
most
Andrew,
of it
who's here.
with Andrew
Hi,
Ebright.
Andrew.
who's here, and yeah, I think most of it was not recorded at that studio. It was kind of.
Oh yeah.
I think the
Okay,
band
I
kind of
forgot that.
existed before that happened, really. And yeah, what's your recollection, Colleen, of the band? Because I feel like it's like it's interesting to think back at like being from 2000. What was it, 2008, 9 to 11 or so, or 12, and it's like I feel like it was because you were touring with other Polka Dot Dot Dot, and I think at the same time and doing other things.
And I moved to New Orleans at some point in there.
Right, totally.
At the end of that time.
Right.
Or tried to move to New Orleans is more what happened.
Yeah.
They kind of chewed me up and spit me out. But I think that we just kind of kept going. We would just like when I was in town, we would make music together, and
Yeah.
we got a couple tours in.
Yeah.
We did that one tour with World History.
Yeah. I have some pictures from that actually.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, do you want to do some
yeah.
show and tell?
Yeah.
Yeah,
show
I
and tell.
could. Well, let's see. We can start off with since we just played December, which I have the.
Oh right, yeah. This was for a
Can't
comp.
really
We
see
wrote
it
this
really
song.
here,
This
but-
was the first song that Evan and I fully collaborated on. Because often we
Ben
would like,
Camen's.
yeah, one of
Anonymous
us would bring
Monk.
a song. Yeah.
We have a bunch of friends on the comp as well.
Mhm.
Viking Moses, Ben Camen's on there, Spen
Mhm.
King, Golden Ghost, Ashley Erickson, Carl Blau, Paleo, Ruth Allison, Eleanor Murray, Carrie Hopper, and Eli Moore. Yeah,
Mhm.
this calendar.
It's
calendar
still a
comp
great comp.
with the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's that?
It's still a great comp.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't.
I
I haven't
still
Everyone
listened to it in a
wrote
long
a
time.
song for one of the months.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the last song December was yeah, the song we contributed. I think it was the only song that we actually co-wrote.
Mhm.
Most of the songs we we collaborated on a lot of the stuff, but I think that was the one where we actually sat down and wrote all the lyrics and all the music, and it was like that was just
Yeah.
Mhm.
Evan, you told me
Experience.
that in the last few months when we've been working on this album that you were saying that yeah, this was the one song where you
Yeah.
guys on lyrics collaborated on where you're always collaborating on music. But then I was kind of curious how that looked, that were
I
you
don't really remember.
trading were you writing it in the same room, writing it together, or like sending
Yeah.
lyrics back and forth?
I
Okay,
think
yeah.
No,
I
we
came
did
up with
it.
the
We
idea
did
that
it.
there was like a stalactite and a stalagmite that are growing
Right.
towards each
Right,
other,
right.
and it was sort of like the romance of the stalactite and the stalagmite in a cave that like
Yeah.
aren't quite touching, but they're kind of like growing together over a
Totally.
long period of time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we literally just made it up on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't do that, and I've never done that since. It was very
Really?
surprising. It was probably really, no. I was really scary. I think at the time, I was just like, I don't know how to do this.
I don't
But it
remember you
worked.
being
It worked
scared.
out. No,
if that- if that
not like
helps
outwardly
anything.
scared, but just like, it's very. I feel like, at least for me, and it's still true for me. It's just like music and creative projects can be very like revealing and vulnerable. To like
Totally.
to like know, and it can be hard to know, I guess, what, and like hard to communicate, like what you like and what you don't like, and like why, and like it's just there's a lot exposed, I feel like, when you're working on creative things, and so
And feelings are on the line too,
Totally.
I mean,
yeah,
you don't know how someone's going to respond if you say that you don't like that line or that guitar part, or so
yeah,
there has to be some vulnerability there and some trust involved, and
yeah. I think it's just it can be, there's just, you don't know what's gonna happen, and if you're not like ready for that, then it can be scary. So, but
I think being scared is part of the point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show. Here's another Ben. Ben Cameron just has so many good things that he made. Another
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah. That's
Check
nice.
that out. Ben Cameron tour, 2008 spring.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ben's here. Ben, it's really nice
Yeah.
to think about like our long history together. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. And now
Totally.
I'm using Ben's app, patterning his drum app,
Oh yeah, totally.
and really enjoying using that, creating with that. Check it out. Patterning.
Yeah, Olympia Noise Company.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a flyer from that. I think it's from the show with the pictures from Andrew Ebright, which is the one at Grandma's house. I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh yeah. I think I drew that. That's definitely my handwriting and my
yeah,
drawing style.
nice.
Yeah.
August 29th, 8 p.m.
Do those whales have a bunch of
donations.
teats? Like
Yeah, they do. They do. They each have
I still
8.
draw that.
They have
It's so
8
funny.
teats. Can't really see it. It's too blurry, but yeah.
There's little teeth on that
Some
bill.
things never change. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just listening to. I think this person played in Little Angry, but Sean Real, is that their name?
Yeah.
Who is the composer for 99% Invisible, that podcast, and
Yeah.
they did an episode with that kind of highlighted how they work on stuff, and at the beginning it's like Sean from the bands something and Little Teeth, and I was like, Little Teeth? Did I hear that right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Sean's a
so that
professional composer now.
Sean
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
that brought back a whole era of music that I hadn't thought about. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just like so many. I'm like looking at these flyers, and there's like so many bands that, were happening at the time in Olympia, and it's kind of
It's a really
kind of
magical
crazy.
time.
Yeah, there was a lot happening. Here's another flyer, by the way. That was the original drawing that I made, which is Pythias Braswell, Tim Curry Bear, which I think is Shelby Turner's project.
Yeah, Shelby Turner's band.
Loved
I don't know. I don't remember what Bird Inside Wall was.
Yeah, I
Jack
don't remember a lot of
Jansky,
those bands.
Yes,
But...
yeah.
Black Hole. I don't know who Black Hole is. Twig Palace. Plus animations, whatever that means. Free day. On Jefferson, 14th and Jefferson. I feel like that might be Matthew Anderson's house or former house on. I don't remember if that was the right street. Maybe that was 4th. Sorry, different street.
And maybe for people who aren't of Olympia, we can like kind of paint the picture of what that town is kind of like.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of people that are familiar. Maybe there's some people that aren't familiar.
I did see some names of some folks who are just, big supporters of Antiquated Future, and I don't think ever lived in Olympia. So, so there probably are. I think there are some people.
Yeah. Although
So
I
maybe
just
we
want to
can
mention.
just sort of like, I don't know if people want to drop in the chat like a couple words that you would use to describe.
Yeah, describe
I like
Olympia.
that idea.
From
Yeah.
2008,
Especially like early
to
2000s, like
yeah,
mid 2000s,
early
like
to mid 2000s, yeah.
2008 or 2006
the
or
aughts.
2012 or something. But I would
Matt
some
Carney.
words that I would use to describe it are wet,
Tiny.
bicycles, big trees,
Bicycle records.
potluck, big time.
Potluck's big time. Yeah.
Just like music, maybe a little bit crusty.
Yeah.
And for people who are not familiar with Washington, there's also like for a lot of months of the year, the sky just kind of hangs really close over your head, but it's also kind of woomy in a way because it's sort of like
Yes.
I feel like it's very similar to a holler,
Yeah.
where you're just sort of like it's just very like contained.
Yeah.
And Olympia
womb-like.
too is kind of like in what I lovingly call the armpit of Puget Sound, like right down the face.
Yeah. Yes.
It really did always get like the worst weather too. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Bronner's soap. I think that's the
Dr. Bronner's soap for sure.
Yeah. That's.
It's
that's a
also
good
just
addition.
like it's very it was a lovely place to be. Like we played a lot of music. It was cheap to live and
Justin Carter mentioned Gothic Dennis. Dark
Gothic
Dentist.
Dentist for sure. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, many houses painted black. Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
say a couple things about that, but I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I just want to say too, Matt Carney, who's a friend of mine. I don't know if Colleen, if you know him, but he said he booked world history and electrician shows in New Orleans. So
Oh yeah.
back in the day. So there's another connection.
Yeah. Oh hi.
Hey, Justin.
I wonder if we should play another song, or Evan,
Yeah.
if you wanted to show our MySpace, maybe we'll do that.
Oh
later.
yeah. Yeah.
We could do
Well,
it
let's watch
now.
a video and then we can talk.
Okay, let's watch
I
a
can
video.
show some more pictures. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna mute myself this time. So.
do it.
Mhm.
I got a blue-eyed wonder waiting on the wind, you say, on the wind, you say. I got a blue-eyed wonder waiting on the wind, you say, on the wind, you say. But two-eyed she may be, I know the wind that she knows me, and I won't be fooled by some caterwauling nocturnal bee. It's a thing you don't remember when you've been away too long, away too long. It's a thing you don't remember when you've been away too long, away too long. You can look for me with all the disappearing leaves in the dunes that I all and sundry from her teeth. Oh, it's a rapturous tangle kept here in the shivering house we built. I can see your arms too full to hold me up.
Ken, sounding so good. We really need to make an EP of these. Oh yeah, someone's
Yeah.
even asking about that.
Yeah. I
Excellent.
think we'll probably. Yeah. We'll definitely. I mean,
We can
we'll have-
definitely put them up on our Bandcamp very easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm also hearing people talk about K Records, which we forgot to mention is from Olympia. That's like,
Right. Kill Rock
that was
Stars
all-
too.
Yeah, Kill Rock Stars.
Another.
There's also a lot of really great metal from Olympia.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
Wolves in the Throne Room,
Mhm.
and a bunch of amazing electronic music, and there's just like it's a small town, but it's multi-layered and just
Yeah.
packed full of, and that's just the music, you know.
For sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
People playing in like 6 bands at once.
Guilty. Evan, you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I was actually thinking about trying to write I feel like I had a list of how many bands I would play it in, but I don't think I can find it. But there's at least 24 bands that have played in Olympia at different points in time. That's
Wow.
probably. I mean, if you count like one-offs and like other random
Yeah.
shit. I mean, like, yeah, definitely would not. That seems about right.
It's cat time.
Oh
Cat
yeah.
time! Yeah. We can do a time warp into the MySpace.
Yeah.
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 I was being
Actually, it
requested.
was a little bit of backstory. I was just like looking for photos for today, and then I was trying to pull some stuff of MySpace, which is now owned by the Russians, and you no longer. A lot of things are limited, but yeah, I was just on the Wayback Machine. You can. We can see we gotta get our Flash player.
Yeah, you gotta update it.
Gotta update
We
that.
gotta update our Flash player. In 2000, this is from September 2009, But
Yeah.
here's Miss Valley Park Distro, now known as
Yes.
Antiquated Future. The Twig Palace albums are available there.
Add to
we got-
cart.
we got
I
our-
feel like
yeah,
the
we got our-
influences is the reason why I need Joshua James in my life, because I instead of like actually talking about the music, I just put stuff like that.
Yeah,
What is it? Yeah, moon sails, barnacles.
totally.
It's not gonna help anybody
Yeah,
figure out
yeah.
if they listen to it or
I
not.
mean, marbles in a
I really-
wooden bowl. I mean, that's pretty useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like sounds like glug 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 glug. It really sounds like y'all are more of a party band than you were.
Wait, Evan, I
Ben
want you to
Cameron
scroll
mentioned-
down because I feel like
Oh, yeah,
our
yeah.
friends are, many of them are actually in the chat right now.
Here's
Yeah.
our top 18. We got
Onyx of
Onyx-
Olympia,
Onyx of Olympia. I got Jordan O'Jordan. Got Fox
Mm.
Core,
Bicycle
Snowfield,
Records,
Bicycle Records, Man and Ship, Lonesome Long, like
Ancient
a Fox,
Ribbons, World History,
Some great bands. Yeah.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Tierney.
Ben,
There's Ben.
Jonathan,
Ben?
not Jordan.
Online
Yeah,
now.
Wisdom.
It's Ancient Ribbons online now.
I actually just ran into one half of Agent Ribbons when I was in Lockhart, Texas, visiting Jordan.
Oh, crazy.
Lauren is now running a really awesome herb shop there in Lockhart,
Oh.
Texas. If you ever
Cool.
make it out there,
Nice.
it's a really sweet little spot. Yeah.
We got some comments. We were great in Portland.
Oh, good job in Portland.
The round.
Yeah.
You're talking about the round, which I think you did. You just you did that. I think, Colleen, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some. I was like kind
Oh
of.
no.
writing the
We
Twig
did
Palace
do
a
the
little
Portland
bit.
round together. I remember this actually. Because
I
do you remember
remember-
this?
I do. It was the
Where they were
weirdest
playing.
show.
What were they playing? They wanted to do the Four Non Blonde song. I think.
Yeah.
This was just like a last minute thing, like because we played like a song or something, and then like they wanted, and then at the very end they just like for some reason somebody had the idea to like play that song, and I like was not gonna play that song.
I remember
and just
that.
like
You were like, I
basically
can't.
didn't do
I
anything. And
shan't.
I was like, I can't do it. I mean, now if it happened now, I would totally do it. But
Oh,
back
you were
then,
too good for it?
I was just too good for it back then. But now I'm all about the Four Non Blondes. But
Yeah.
Evan,
Now you
but,
have a Four Non Blondes cover band.
yeah, exactly. It's called five something and
Five brunettes.
five brunettes. Yeah, five half brunettes. Look, another comment about. Oh, good, Twig Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Top floor kind of deal.
Long distance phone calls are expensive. Back when long
Wow.
distance phone
I
calls
know.
were.
This is
Yeah.
pre-smartphone era here, probably, or early smartphone.
Everyone have at least
Oh, God.
everyone in the punk scene having a
Yeah.
cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when you left for tour and you had a binder with all the printed
Yes.
out
Oh,
MapQuest
yeah.
directions from
Oh.
place to place.
Right.
Totally.
And
I
then
love
if
those
you, like,
binders.
Took a wrong turn, then like I remember Josh, actually me and you getting lost in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Getting really lost on tour once.
Yeah. One time I went on tour with Eleanor Murray and Ross from Bicycle Records let us borrow his GPS device before phones, could give us good directions. And it was just giving us the worst directions. I mean, we were like in Northern California, and at one point it told us to take a right where the right was a cliff. There was just a drop off, and this mountain highway, and we were just like, what is wrong with this thing? And
Oh, God.
we were a full week, maybe even 2 weeks into the tour before we realized that it was set to walking directions and not driving directions.
shit.
So it was
Oh,
just
no.
very confused the whole time
Oh,
because we
man.
were walking so fast that it just couldn't keep up. Oh, look at
Jenny
this.
Jenkins.
Jenny
And-
Jenkins.
yeah, and Margie Pepper started around the same time that we started. That
Oh,
Twig
yeah.
Palace was formed. Like,
Oh yeah, that's so wild
and so
to think about.
early on, we played like a lot of our first shows together. At least a couple
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, there was a couple shows like that.
Love Margie Pepper forever.
Me too. I still listen to their Golden Webs album from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that on the turntable.
Oh,
Christopher
Christopher Francis.
Finger Complex.
Yeah, run by
Love.
Joel,
Yeah.
right?
This
And
is
MG.
from Flickr. I think his name. What is the person's name? Jason Tellius, I think. I don't know if I've ever met him, but he did like the great favor to everybody by taking pictures of a ton of flyers at the time, and so it's a really cool archive to look back at for that era.
Evan was pointing out that it's important to put the year that the show is taking place on
Yeah,
the flyer.
very important. Very important.
I'd never thought of that before.
Because now we don't know what year this was. I mean, we could look on the internet and check again, but
You can't always find it.
yeah.
So
Well, I
I
mean,
think
like,
that
yeah,
this
that's the
is one
thing.
of the flyers that was made by M.
Oh, okay.
Dollinger.
Oh, okay.
And she is still running a print shop in Seattle, Ink Knife Press, and still
Cool.
like
Hey.
doing screen printing and like beautiful prints,
Awesome.
like bonkers stuff.
I also pulled out this single
Oh yeah.
that she released on Electricity
Oh, nice.
West. So yeah, when we were looking for archive or
Totally.
little bits of ephemera from the past. Yeah.
She's totally woven into my musical story. She did a bunch of beautiful artwork and prints for
See,
many of the different bands that I've been in.
Here's some other pictures.
Oh,
Most of these are Andrew pictures.
these
Andrew Newbrett,
babies.
again, another great photographer and friend and archivist now at this point because he took so many pictures of us. Here's a good one. That's the Finger Complex. This is, I think, Eliza Howe from
Eliza
Davis. Eliza Huff from Davis took these pictures, I think.
Oh yes.
When we're on tour, the one tour we were on. In the backyard.
At the Robot Rocket Residence.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
I still have that snare
Those
drum.
are Evan's really beautiful drums.
These were not that beautiful, but they served me well. I paid $40 for them at Goodwill in Tacoma.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So they lasted. I mean, the snare drum I still own, and it's much nicer than a $40 snare drum, I would say. So it was worth it. So I just want to say Colleen's hair is looking very spectacular in these pictures.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Had a lot of experimental hair.
Oh, this is I think Danielle Warhol took this picture actually.
Oh.
I just found online.
I think that's.
That might be your house, actually.
At the Glitter Dome.
Or no, Alamingo.
I think it's Alamingo because the Dorothy mug was an Alamingo staple.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and
Yeah.
I think that looks like that's Ben Camen's calendar underneath too.
Oh yeah.
All this stuff.
Oh.
This is probably like pre-tour. I might not have lived anywhere, and so I was probably staying at your house because the Alamingo. I kind of stayed there a lot when I didn't have a place to live.
This was preparing for us to go on tour on the Twig Palace Letters tour.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's copies of Well, I Don't See Why Not back here that were also assembled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally.
The tour where you dropped me off in New Orleans.
Yeah. It was like an excuse to drive you to New Orleans. Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan, for generously letting us borrow your car for a cross-country tour. With
You're
the
also
trailer. Jackson, I think that's a stamp, not spray paint.
Yeah, it looks like
plus
it does
tape.
look like a stamp. Yeah.
I think it's a stamp.
But that would be a good move though.
I have definitely done the spray paint and lace.
Yes, me too. Yeah. It's a classic.
These are taken by Andrew again. These are
Andrew Ebrecht.
Oh, there's Spencer Caro.
Oh.
Thomas, I think it's Thomas or somebody. No, that's not Thomas. Maybe. But this is at Grandma's house on the west side.
I think this was a show that we threw, maybe, because I remember decorating.
Yeah, no, this is the one with the flyer that you made. I think.
There's Danny and
World
Sophia.
History, Little Teeth.
Yeah.
I think this is the right show. August 29th.
Really makes.
Oh, this is the Puget House.
Oh, nice. That basement.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I wonder if this was our last show. This
It might
may
have
have been
been.
our last show, because I think our last show was at the Puget House.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Your hair is looking really good.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just about to
thanks.
say the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, I want to say a little bit about me and Evan's like friendship story.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because Evan and I met when we were both training to be DJs at Chaos, the community radio station in Olympia. And I remember sitting in the training session, and Evan had like the most amazing hair. It was like the haircut in the last picture, but it was like even more extreme and like this like bouffant that was just like, it was just so voluminous and amazing. I was like, who is this guy? And we just hit it off afterwards. I think we were both living in the Soups at the time.
Yeah,
Living on
probably.
campus.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, that's right. I think.
I was
Yeah.
like Whidbey Island, fresh off the island, fresh off the ferry boat, like still figuring out how to live in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I still kind of am, but
It never
yeah,
stops.
We just like started talking about music, and Evan had a great late night show called The Honorama. That I think you have an archive of online.
Yeah, I have about like 15 episodes that are recorded that are still online.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think because you had a show, and then I think I subbed for you a few times on your show.
Yeah, I was still really into like country and folk, and I was playing. I mean, I'm still into that music, but I was obsessed with it at that time. And yeah, I had a show called Songs for the Open Road, and I just saw
Yeah,
that
totally.
Jordan's here. Hi, Jordan
Yeah,
Tierney.
Jordan. Yeah, that was. Yeah, Chaos was a good place for me. I feel like I did a lot there. I went through a lot of I did like several projects, one of which was like going through all the 7-inches that they had at the
Right.
station.
Which was
they had,
literally
like-
in like a cage in the basement.
well, some of them, not all of them, but yeah, most of them were down there
Yeah.
actually. There was a giant
I remember
there was
hanging
like
out
the
down there.
backlog. Yeah. And like literally like going through thousands of 7-inches that they had, and then many years later, so actually I went through them, and then I archived a lot of them, like I digitized a lot of them, and then I made these like set of CD compilations of the best ones that I thought were the best ones, and I wrote reviews for all of them. So there's like probably 120 or so that I digitized and collected, and it turns out many years later, when I was playing in the Hive Dwellers with Calvin Johnson of K Records, he was the original music director at Chaos, and it turns out that a lot of the mixtape that you find of his that he has created have a lot of the same bands that are from those 7-inches, because that was
Oh
like
wow.
the early years of him getting into music, probably, I'm guessing, and also like just his exposure. Like he was checking those in at the time to the station. So a lot of those. I would like, so we ended actually, one really funny story is we ended up playing with this band called the Furers from New Haven, Connecticut, who are this really amazing pop band that have been around since the 70s. They used to play at like CBGBs and like just a duo, rock and roll duo kind of situation. And I had found out about them at Chaos through the 7-inches. I think Calvin had put them on one of the tapes. And then we ended up playing with them in New Haven in like 2010 or something like that, because they're still I think they're still going now. Like they're in their like 60s now or something. The Furers, Furors.
Yeah, they're a
And, like,
duo.
A duo, yeah. Just drums and guitar, like Twig Palace.
And that have been around since the 70s. They used to play at
Oh, that's on me there.
Is that
Yeah,
me?
and so
Oh.
I think it might have been Joshua, but yeah, like so yeah, it was like a funny. That was like one pathway I think that opened up for me and through Chaos, in terms of that, and yeah, maybe we'll play another song, but I just want to show these other two pictures, which are from the studio. I think I actually found a very short video clip that Andrew had that is of us recording December, or no, sorry, not December, Disaster rather. And I think this is from that session, actually, these pictures from the recording studio that was out in Boston Harbor Road area.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, evolving drum set with way too many cymbals.
I love that. I'm like, there's so many.
I would never.
symbols.
I was like
how
such
is
a.
that
I
one
was,
divider gonna keep?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was like being You know, I was I'm still kind of a minimalist when it comes to drums, but this was like me playing with a bunch, just like, you know, for recording, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, totally. This is like.
You made some cool diffusers for that house. Like, I was so impressed with how you all set that up for recording.
Those things were nuts. Those were ridiculous. They were like giant, like 12-foot things. Cool. Should we listen to another song here?
Yeah, let's play another song.
Yeah. All right.
I have no idea what time it is or how long it is.
It's 8:00.
Sure.
Let's see.
Just in time for another song.
Yeah, just in time for another
Perfect
song. Here we go. Let me switch the audio here.
No, don't try to tell me you know me by now. I got 10 bees tapping on the roof of my mouth, and I set my watch just to tick in time with your pulse. No, I set my watch just to tick in time with your pulse. Now tagged on a place where inside you just left a mess of porch fires and crumble and ash. We can paste our broken pieces to centerfolds and creases with glue. But I'm done running, oh, I'm done running to you. If your steps take you further from my open door, here's a compass, honey, and a storm-colored coat. I don't mind the weather as long as I'm in it with you. So don't try to tell me you don't know me by now. I got 10 bees tapping on the roof of my mouth, and I set my watch just to tick in time with your pulse. No, I set my watch just to tick in time. I set my watch just to tick in time. I set my watch just to tick in time with your pulse.
Jordan's excited about that one.
These versions, so good.
Yeah,
So glad you like them. It was really fun to make
Yeah.
them.
it was. Yeah.
There hasn't been any, you know, you were talking about doing a Q&A, and there hasn't been
yeah.
a lot of, you know, questions to try to get into the, you know, the Mossy Goss
Mossy Goss.
from the old days of Twig
Yeah.
Palace and Olympia. So if anyone has those, we can, you know, ask Colleen and Evan some questions. So there is that. But I really love everything that people have been putting in the chat. So many great things, like bringing up Microfest and the Hall of the Woods.
Hall of the Woods,
and,
yeah. I have
Micro-
such fond memories of the Hall of the Woods.
Trying to
I
find
think
the
I actually
Microfest
met
first.
Gina Sarti there. Gina, did I meet you there? I can't remember. I just had this. I had
Here's
this
the Microfest.
amazing room. that's the drawing that I made. I made
Yeah.
that one.
No,
Yeah,
There's
I don't draw at all anymore, but maybe I should.
you
Yeah,
should.
you should. Lots of great bands.
That was a
on here.
really fun one. I remember.
Yeah, polka
The
dot
Hall
dot
of the
dot.
Woods had a set. We moved in and there was already like a set of 20 roller skates there. It was the size of an old
I
dance
remember
hall,
that.
an old dance hall, and had some old speakers that were from OFS, I think.
every time I came to visit, there was always somebody at some point on roller skates.
Yeah,
You know, like that was just, they were very well used.
they were. Yeah.
At least by that group of people. I think it was Andrew Ebright who put in the chat that Markley Morrison puts on a good fest. He was
Indeed, he does.
one of the main Microfest organizers, and I've been listening to his Low Profile podcast. I don't know if you two have been checking that out, but it's been really fun. I listened to his episode of Swamp Dog last night or the night before.
I just downloaded the Lavender Country episode.
Yeah, I love them, and I've really been wanting to listen to that one. So a little hype there. The Low Profile podcast by Markley Morrison is really lovely look at kind of off the radar outsider musicians from that are still going and have been oftentimes going for a really long time. And Jackson Tagu put a really good like what Olympia was at that time, which was an unknowable number of cute group houses with 1,000 bands. And when you were making that list, Colleen, I was thinking a lot about basements and living rooms and being packed in, and just kind of the sweet insularness of Olympia at that time.
Which, to be real, is hard. It was hard to penetrate. Like, I know a lot of people who weren't able to find Olympia because it was like cold to them. I think because it's so like the lives there take place a lot inside. People's homes, you know.
And they didn't happen often at regular venues, so that it was. That's a hard one too. I had a lot of people, and when I first moved to Olympia, I found it pretty inaccessible too, because it wasn't just that there were shows going on that were I really had to know somebody to be invited to the show, and that was a hard one for my first year or two there.
It's a hard place to get to know unless you have an in.
Trying to type out all the bands on. There's too many bands.
Oh wow. I mean, typing up.
Cool School, yes.
School.
Birth of Big Fucking Sleep Giant. Problems, Ruth Allison, Wellbeings, Librarians, Buffalo Voice, Nature Girl, Desolation Wilderness, Sweetheart Parade, Number Bear, Fall of Snow, Penny and her lowercase kindred, Midwife, Hobby. I must have played like 3 times in this then.
I think
Hobby,
you did.
Calico,
Hobby
Alaska, Phonatic, Infinity Gauntlet, Sewn Leather, Dance Attack, and more. Those are the Hall of Woods.
I have a really Infinity Gauntlet was Joey Cassio, and I have a really fun memory of
totally.
Just like dancing my butt off, just like ending the night with him. I think, or I guess it wasn't the night because I think it all. Who knows? Those things went on forever. It's like 12 bands. Yeah,
totally.
12 bands.
I'm gonna put this up here because I dug these photos.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute.
From
that was a sweet tour.
Colleen, have you received your tapes yet?
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
But Oakland mail is just like I think they're just slammed. I think things are taking just a couple days even to get from the Oakland post office to my house.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'm grateful that they get here at all.
Oh, these are cute. These are cute
Kickball.
photos.
Oh yeah. Hi, Davey.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not to. So in our selected song series, we're hoping the next one is going to be a kickball selected songs.
Cool. Very cool.
Lisa and I have been talking for years about there's some kind of last kickball recordings that were supposed to come out on a French as like a split 12-inch on some French label. That never happened, and so we've been talking for years about releasing those in some form. So that's maybe early next year.
That's some hot goss. That's not even Nazi goss. You heard it here. Remember that.
Kickball coming back.
If you don't believe in ghosts, you won't see ghosts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really hope that in some form we can do something like this for kickball too when that happens.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
The Strangers. Somebody mentioned the Strangers, and Joe
Yeah.
Kuda of the Strangers is now in Evan's current band.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's probably listening.
Yeah, Joe's probably listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe and I have been playing music on and off for a long time. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's cool to cycle back around to people we know in Olympia.
Mhm.
Very, very common, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew from there's that other curator from Selected Songs said this is the crowd to know first. So you know, I didn't approve that kickball, you know, leak here, but I think he's okay with it.
Okay. You can blame it on me and Evan. You know.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
just like,
That's fun.
Ben asked about lost kickball recordings, and Davey said it's something about Lake, and oddly, those last kickball recordings were recorded on Whidbey Island by
cool.
Ashley and Eli from Lake.
Nice.
So
at the
yeah.
Cobb House, maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
What's one band that used a suitcase for kick drum? How about like 10
Pasties?
bands from Olympia? Yeah, the Pasties and Hail
I think that's
Seizures.
a joke.
Hail Seizures.
I think you're thinking of the Hail Seizures.
Yeah.
Hail Seizures, yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like that was used by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just ripped off or something. I don't know. Artfully ripped off. Evan, how many more songs do we have left in the
Just have one more.
hopper? Just one more.
Just got one
Okay.
more. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just holding up. Here's another artifact, the tribute.
Oh yeah, One
to
Foot in the Grave.
One Foot in the Grave. That.
Jody
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah, I think that's right. Bunch of
Oh.
friends on here too.
I remember
Hee
Iggy did one on there. Yeah.
hee. World History, Curious Mystery. Oh wow, Curious Mystery's on here. That's cool.
That is cool.
Now of
Shayna Cleveland and the
Shayna
Sandcastles.
Cleveland. Yeah, exactly.
Or La Luz. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I went on tour with them with the Hive Dwellers many years ago.
Oh,
That band was
wow.
really good.
Yeah.
That
I
band
love
was really
that.
good, and
Yeah.
I
All
think
of
they were
Shayna's
kind
bands
of
have been pure gold and
yeah,
continue to be.
totally, yeah, and I think they're people, yeah, that band exists for a long time. I think before.
I guess someone's mentioning the Pasties. Kendall's band.
Nice.
Kendall and Joe's band. Yeah, that was a great band. They toured a lot, I feel like.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so much.
Were you their roommates? I forget.
Well, Jeff Shannon,
Right.
I lived with him, and he was a member, and yeah, he was always trying to figure out if he could go on Pasties too. I mean, they had like 8 members, so you know, it was just kind of a whoever.
I was working at the Blue Heron Bakery, so I was
Yes.
working with like half of that band. So when the Pasties went on tour, it was like kind of hard, I think. But-
Yeah, right, because then you would be really short-staffed. I mean, that was a very talented workplace. You know, there's
Still
so
is. Yeah, the Blue Heron Bakery lives. Yeah.
that's great. I'm so glad.
If anyone wants to get me something for Christmas, you can send me some coconut almond granola from
Oh,
Blue Heron
man.
Bakery.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Blue Heron Bakery granola with some blueberries on top. Is there anything
Actually,
better?
I think
From the
I think
blueberry bog. You remember the blueberry bog?
Yes. Yeah.
I think
I love
El
that.
Cerrito Natural Grocers. I live in El Cerrito. I think they carry Blue Heron granola.
They might carry Rebel Crunch.
Yeah, I think they carry Rebel Crunch.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
I know
awesome. I'm glad they're getting
exactly where that is. Yeah,
distroed.
yeah,
Um,
totally. Should we play this last song?
I guess so.
we'll talk more and what else?
I mean,
Uh,
we should play the last song. Let's play the last song.
Yeah. Let's see here.
She said it. She said the name of the album.
Oh yeah, she did.
Oh. I just want to say that I love, to everyone that's out there, my friends, I love you all so much. And Evan and Joshua, I just think it's such a treat that we get to do this together, and
Yeah.
maybe we continue to do this for always.
Yeah.
I really hope
Yeah,
so.
totally. Oh, there's Dana.
Oh.
So nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I
also
think
thought we
I think
might
it's.
take a moment to like. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say we might take a second to talk about what we're doing right now, like
Totally.
the music that we're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, I think, obviously this pandemic time has been extremely difficult for a lot of people, and at the same time, I do think it's interesting to see. For me, it's been interesting to rediscover technology in a certain way, or like re-examine what the value of technology is, because I think a lot of people are doing this, where it's like we're realizing that having a situation in which people feel connected and like can come together for an event like this, and it's really about community and really about people, and that's actually what everybody cares about and everybody wants, and why things like Instagram and Facebook that's actually what makes them valuable, is the community that they produce, and the community precedes them and succeeds them. It's not actually those platforms that are doing the work of being like connected with people and like maintaining connections. I think it gives people the impression of that, but I think it really doesn't take much in terms of technology to feel connected to other people, and it's so much more. Like, I've experienced this. I'm engaged with the meditation community to a degree in the Bay Area, and like their Zoom meetings can be pretty ragtag, and it doesn't really matter, because like people are there for connection and to hear wisdom, some situations, or to feel connected in their practice or whatever it might be. But like it's not really, it doesn't matter how good the video looks or whatever, it's like, or like how slick your special effects or edits are or whatever. It's like more just about connection and feeling connected, and I think that's really what people need right now, obviously, in terms of this time. So so I love.
Maybe it's kind of like how the houses that housed our shows come and go, this is just another kind of like holding place for the eternal kind of like the life-giving force of our community.
And I think the tendency of the internet has been, and internet consumption and the way that people produce content and consume content. I mean, I think primarily producers are the ones responsible, and corporations or whoever are sort of controlling our ability to do that. It's like long form, simple conversations that aren't like flashy and like look fancy or whatever. Like those are not. That doesn't really give you the feeling of understanding somebody else, or hearing somebody, or thinking about ideas necessarily. Like that kind of stuff is very ordinary, and maybe doesn't make for like a cool Netflix series, but like that's what people actually, I think that's actually what people want most of the time. Like it doesn't really, the production value is really, like I think we know this as being people from the DIY underground community, where it's like production value is only second to what you have to say and what you're feeling, and what you want to, how you want to connect to people, and like sharing and experiences and stuff. I think that's always the first thing. And I would say most of the things on the internet are not really that great at that. They're more very much like the old school, like this is what you want and we're telling you what you want, and so it's cool to upset the paradigm, I feel like, in situations like this.
That's what Twig Palace is all about.
Yeah.
I think the name of the EP. That would be the EP, upsetting the paradigm EP.
Wasn't that the band's tagline back in the day?
Glug glug glug, upset the paradigm.
Back tattoos that say that.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, what was the? I don't have my computer next to me that has the the bumper sticker you made, Colleen.
Advertisement is poison. That one.
What was? Oh, advertisement is poison. Yeah. Yeah.
Lifestyle propaganda.
Yeah, lifestyle propaganda. Totally. Yeah,
Those
Colleen,
were.
do you want to? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say those were a huge hit last year when Flying Circles played the Antiquated Future Party in Portland.
Right.
Oh, totally.
People were really loving those bumper stickers.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that.
Those are great.
Yeah.
I feel like Portland really gets me.
Yeah. I was texting with Gina Sarti today, and she was like, I don't know what I'm going to be watching tonight, but I'm just excited, and I'm always excited to see a room full of people just fall in love with Colleen as a
Aw.
musician and entity. And I was like, yeah, well, that completely happened last year in Portland. Let me tell you, there was an entire venue of people who most of whom had never seen you perform, and that Flying Circles show was just so good, and it was really. Half of the joy for me was just looking into the crowd and seeing everybody be like, what's going on here? Where did these people come from? Yeah. And somebody, and Johnny in the chat asked if there's any more Flying Circles on the way. So this might segue us into talking about your current projects that are not Twig Palace.
There is more Flying Circles in the future. We have some songs in the works right now. Half Flying Circles is actually here right now. Preston's petting a cat next to me, but
you're in your studio.
Yeah, I would love to come to New York. We stay. I don't know, Johnny Spice, hit me up. I would love to go to New York. I haven't been to New York. I have not been to New York for like a decade.
Wow.
I don't have a lot of connections there, and I haven't made it to the East Coast. And life update for me, I have been like working a full-time food service job for the last 5 years that I just left. So I am now trying. I took this year off thinking that I would be going on tour for a year of 2020
with Flying Circles.
With Flying Circles, but I was planning on going solo because my partner, who's in Flying Circles, also was planning on touring a lot this year with his other projects. Oh, Dan is in New York too. Wow. So anyways, obviously, who knows when I can get out there and perform again, but I am aching to go on tour. And I'm also working on some music that will be released under my name, Colleen Johnson, that I don't have a set date for, but I'm working on some new music. And yeah, I guess I don't have much else other than that. In the past, the other bands that I played in since Twig Palace, I have a website, and you can like find all the music that I've been working on there. ColleenJohnson.zone. That's right.
So
yeah.
And you're also in this interim period teaching lessons too, right?
Right. So I'm also available if you want to take a voice lesson, or I'm also teaching guitar to beginners, and I'm teaching students of all ages. My students range from age like 8 years old to 40 years old, and I've been really enjoying. I just love doing that. So that's my new jam.
Yeah. Evan, what about you?
Well, I have a band that I have had for a number of years now, called Little Angry and the Sweets, and there's an album sitting in my computer to be released, but basically, I think the pandemic has made it hard to decide what to do with music. I think, and the plan is to release it early next year. I right now am, along with events like this, learning how to do video editing and hopefully shoot my own music videos for this album. So that's the plan right now, is to do that, do some promotion for that, and decide. I think a record is the way to go, probably still, but yeah, not rushing it at this point just because of the pandemic. But yeah, that's the main thing right now, and yeah, I don't know, open to collaborating and doing projects like this. So
yeah,
and that album is really good.
Oh, thank you.
have an advanced copy, and it's pretty great. So I'm really excited for other people to be able to hear that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been interesting to like think about, I think, just like how to adapt right now, when you're making music and making art in general. And like, for me it's been really useful to, rather than avoid avoid the limitations, like lean into the limitations and be like, okay, like if I'm going to shoot a music video, like how am I going to do that, like, and do it safely, and like, I took photos for the album, and like, we did it outside, and we wore masks, and it turns out that the shot that we're going to use is us wearing masks, and it's just like, just like that happens to be the best shot, and it happens to be like, I feel like it's the most honest to the time, and just kind of go with the times, and accept it as being, as what it is, rather than like pretending like it's not, or like that everything's exactly the same as it was before, because it was, obviously isn't. So yeah.
Also, just like reflecting back to people, because it's like we're not seeing, like, often I feel like we see our reality reflected back to us more.
Yeah.
But right now, it's like we're just kind of staring into this void, and it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, for a lot of reasons, it's hard to tell what the F is going on right now. So,
Yeah, totally.
and in a way, that's sort of like reflecting the reality and like this like kind of charming version of it back
Right.
to people,
Right.
which I think
Totally.
is nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so glad that we all got together to do this, and
Yeah.
that we have this tiny little artifact
Yes, the tape.
of Your Most Secret Name, Twig Palace Selected Songs,
Mhm.
2008, 2011.
The other thing I wanted to say is that cover, if you'll hold it up again, the car depicted in that we're sitting on is my grandma's bug, her Vita bug, 1969 VW bug, that she drove forever, and then I inherited it after she died, and it was emerald green, and I drove it around forever until I don't like it. It broke shortly after I let it go, but there's like, for me, like that picture one, I just think it really captures. I feel like that must be out in front of Alamingo. Like, I think that's on.
I didn't
No, it's
even think
actually
about
it's in front of
Oh.
Thurston Avenue.
Oh, okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in front of
alright.
my old house. Yeah, before
Yeah.
PJ House. So yeah.
And
I think
just, like, the vibe is
Gavin
right to me.
I think Gavin Dahl took those pictures.
Gavin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
'Cause I
Another
used to live with
radio
him.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's like a sweetness to me that my like grandma is kind of in that picture a little bit too.
Totally. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So nice.
Yeah, I like that we kind of barely changed the arrangement of songs at all, but had these long talks about the album cover, and we talked about the album cover way more than the music. And in the end, I think we just landed on the right one, because Colleen was just like, the vibe is right. It's just
Yeah.
it's just the right vibe, and in the
Totally.
end, we all, I think, on some level agreed. And Andrew, who's been designing these, was initially like, I don't know if that's the right one, and then as soon as it was, all put
Yeah.
together, it was an object, he was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He did such a great job too. I
Yeah,
think that
it looks really
Two
great.
Plum Press did an amazing job.
Yeah. Well, this has been so lovely. Is there anything that we
lovely.
should do to take us out?
I don't know.
An acapella?
Let's see. Maybe we can all just like, I'm just gonna be a hippie here, but can we all just like beam love really hard at each other, just like for
Yeah.
a second, just like
Yeah.
psychically, like.
Yes.
And I'm just sending love to everyone out there. It's a really hard
Yes.
time. If you're like
Yeah.
me, you've been like having huge lows, like lower lows than you maybe have had in a while, and you know, we are in this together, and we have a lot of joy in our banks that we can draw on. So
Yeah. Totally.
remember, like, the joy that you have in the bank.
For sure.
Yeah. And yeah, just like we can just take a second and be in love with each other because I'm a hippie and I love you guys.
I love that. Yeah, thank you everybody who have watched this entire stream. And
Yeah,
so nice
it's
to
really fun
see
to
all
be
these
together.
very familiar names, and yeah, it's very very heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
And
the
maybe
joy.
we'll be putting these songs up on our Bandcamp because the Twig Palace Bandcamp still exists. And
Yeah, it does still exist. Yeah, we can we will follow up maybe with maybe we'll make use of that more, and can send a recap of everything that we did. And I believe I think this live stream will also be saved, so on Twitch at least, so, and probably YouTube actually
I think
too,
on
so.
the tube too.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, remember, what'd you say, Colleen? Remember the joy you have in the bank?
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
the joy you have in the bank.
Disrupt the paradigm. Remember the joy you have in the bank.
Glug, 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 glug.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all phrases you can use when you're meditating.
Yeah.
These are all
I use
mantras.
glug, glug. Yeah, I use glug, glug, glug a lot.
Wonderful mantra. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking more like a fish. I don't know, like the sound of bubbles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh.
All right. Well,
All right,
thank you,
take
everybody.
care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks
Say
for
hello
showing up.
via email or whatever, or
Yeah, drop us a line.
yeah. All right. Good night,
Okay.
everybody. Take care.
Good night.